Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or struggled to remember a familiar name that used to come to you in an instant? Moments like these can feel unsettling, especially after the age of 70. Many people quietly wonder, is this just a normal part of getting older? Or is it a sign that something more serious could be happening? The good news is that while aging does bring natural changes to the brain, many everyday habits can make a meaningful difference in how well your brain functions over time. In fact, what you do during the first hour after waking may help shape your mental sharpness, mood, and energy for the rest of the day. Today, we're sharing 6 simple morning habits that doctors and researchers often recommend as part of a brain-healthy lifestyle. These habits won't guarantee perfect memory, and they aren't cures for diseases like dementia or Alzheimer's disease. But growing evidence suggests they may help support healthy brain function, improve circulation, and encourage long-term cognitive health when practiced consistently. Some of these habits are surprisingly simple. Others are often overlooked, even by people who try to live healthy lives. And one habit near the end of this video is so easy that many people dismiss it, even though it may have a powerful impact over time. So, be sure to stay with us until the end. Let's begin with the first morning habit. Morning habit number 1. Rehydrate your brain before anything else. After a full night's sleep, your body naturally loses water through breathing and perspiration. Even if you don't feel thirsty when you wake up, you may already be mildly dehydrated. That might not sound important, but your brain depends on proper hydration to work efficiently. Think of your brain like a garden. Without enough water, the plants begin to droop. They may survive for a while, but they won't thrive. In much the same way, even mild dehydration can make it harder to concentrate, affect your mood, and leave you feeling mentally sluggish. As we grow older, staying hydrated becomes even more important. That's because the body's sense of thirst often becomes less reliable with age. Many older adults simply don't feel thirsty, even when their bodies need fluids. Certain medications, along with health conditions that affect the kidneys or heart, can also influence fluid balance. That's one reason it's always a good idea to ask your healthcare provider how much fluid is appropriate for your individual needs. Imagine 2 neighbors in their 70s. Both sleep about the same number of hours each night. One wakes up, immediately makes coffee, and doesn't drink water until much later in the morning. The other starts the day with a glass of water before breakfast. While this single habit won't transform brain health overnight, consistently giving the body the fluids it needs may help support circulation and mental alertness throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, you might add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or a few fresh berries for flavor. Some people enjoy warm water, especially during cooler months. The important thing is creating a routine that you'll actually stick with. Of course, water isn't a replacement for medical treatment. If you're experiencing sudden confusion, severe dizziness, or significant changes in memory, those symptoms deserve prompt medical attention. But for everyday brain support, starting the morning hydrated is a simple step that costs almost nothing and may offer meaningful benefits over time. Now, before we move to the next habit, here's something many people don't realize. Hydration helps, but it isn't enough on its own. There's another morning mistake that can quietly reduce blood flow to the brain before your day has even begun. And millions of older adults make this mistake without realizing it. Morning habit number 2. Get your body moving within the first hour. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't even need to go to the gym. One of the best gifts you can give your brain each morning may be gentle movement. When you move your muscles, your heart pumps more efficiently, sending oxygen-rich blood throughout your body, including your brain. Your brain relies on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to perform everyday tasks like remembering names, making decisions, and staying focused. Researchers have found that regular physical activity is associated with better cognitive health as people age. While no exercise can promise to prevent dementia, Staying active is consistently linked with healthier aging and may help reduce the risk of cognitive decline when combined with other healthy lifestyle habits. The key word here is regular. It's not about exhausting yourself once a week. It's about choosing movements that you can comfortably repeat day after day. For some people, that may be a 10 or 15-minute walk around the neighborhood. For others, it could be gentle stretching, light yoga, tai chi, or simply walking around the house while listening to calming music. The best exercise is often the one you'll actually continue doing. Consider Margaret, a retired teacher in her mid-70s. She noticed she often felt stiff and mentally foggy during the mornings. Her doctor encouraged her to start each day with a short walk around her block. At first, she wasn't convinced such a small change could matter. But after several weeks, she found herself feeling more awake, more energetic, and better prepared for the rest of her day. While everyone's experience is different, her story shows how small, consistent habits can add up over time. Movement also supports something that's especially important as we grow older: balance and strength. Stronger muscles and better coordination can lower the risk of falls, helping people maintain their independence for longer. And protecting your physical health often goes hand in hand with protecting your brain health. If you have arthritis, joint pain, or another medical condition that limits movement, don't feel discouraged. Even seated exercises or gentle range of motion movements can provide benefits. The goal isn't perfection. It's simply to avoid spending the entire morning sitting still. Another helpful idea is to step outside if the weather allows. Fresh air, natural light, and light physical activity create a combination that many people find uplifting. We'll explain why that natural light matters much more than most people realize a little later in this video. It may even play an important role in keeping your brain functioning at its best. Before we continue, take a moment to think about your own morning routine. Do you usually start the day with movement, or do you stay seated until breakfast is over? There's no right or wrong answer. What's important is recognizing that even a few minutes of gentle activity can become a valuable investment in your long-term health. And don't miss what's coming next. The third morning habit surprises many people because it has nothing to do with exercise or nutrition. Yet it's closely connected to memory, concentration, and even your mood throughout the day. It's a simple practice that many older adults overlook, even though it may be one of the easiest habits to adopt. As we continue, remember that healthy brain aging rarely depends on one single habit. It's usually the combination of small, consistent choices that work together over months and years. That's why the next habit is so important. It may seem almost too simple, yet many experts believe it helps set the stage for a healthier, more alert day. Morning habit number 3. Step into natural morning light. Have you ever noticed that after spending time outdoors in the morning, you feel more awake and mentally clear? That's not just your imagination. Your body is designed to respond to natural light, especially during the first part of the day. Inside your brain is a tiny group of cells that acts like your body's internal clock. It helps regulate when you feel awake, when you feel sleepy, and even influences hormones that affect mood, memory, and attention. Morning sunlight helps keep this internal clock running on time. As we get older, this natural timing system can become less reliable. Some people find themselves waking up very early, struggling to stay asleep at night, or feeling tired during the day. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you feeling exhausted. Over time, it may also affect memory, concentration, and overall brain function. Stepping outside for even 10 to 20 minutes in the morning can help reinforce your body's natural rhythm. You don't have to stare at the sun. In fact, you never should. Simply being outdoors in daylight is often enough for your eyes to detect the light your brain needs. Imagine an older gentleman named Robert. After retiring, he spent most mornings indoors watching television with the curtains closed. He often complained that he felt sluggish before lunchtime and had trouble sleeping at night. At his doctor's suggestion, he began taking a short walk outside each morning after breakfast. Within a few weeks, he noticed he felt more energetic during the day, and his sleep gradually became more regular. While every person is different, experiences like Robert's reflect what many people discover when they spend more time in natural daylight. If going outside isn't possible because of weather or mobility challenges, sitting near a bright window may still be helpful, although natural outdoor light is generally much stronger. The important thing is giving your body a clear signal that the day has begun. Morning light also pairs beautifully with the walking habit we discussed earlier. Instead of thinking of them as separate tasks, you can combine them into one enjoyable routine. A gentle stroll outside, even for a few minutes, supports both your body and your brain. Now here's something many people don't realize. Even if you're drinking enough water, getting outside and staying active, one common breakfast habit could quietly work against your brain health. It may cause your energy to rise quickly, only to come crashing down later in the morning. Let's talk about that next. Morning habit number 4. Eat a brain-friendly breakfast with protein and fiber. Breakfast has been called the most important meal of the day for years. While that phrase doesn't apply equally to everyone, the quality of your first meal can certainly influence how you feel over the next several hours. After a night's sleep, your body is ready to replenish its energy stores. If breakfast is made mostly of sugary cereals, pastries, sweet rolls, or other highly processed foods, your blood sugar may rise rapidly. Your body then releases insulin, a hormone that helps move sugar from the bloodstream into your cells. For some people, this quick rise and fall can leave them feeling tired, hungry, or mentally foggy before lunchtime. Instead, many nutrition experts encourage building breakfast around protein and fiber. These nutrients help you feel satisfied longer and support steadier energy throughout the morning. Protein can come from foods like eggs, plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, beans, or tofu. Fiber is found in foods such as oatmeal, berries, apples, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and vegetables. Healthy fats from foods like walnuts or a small amount of avocado may also be part of an overall balanced eating pattern. One simple breakfast might include a bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries and chopped walnuts. Another could be plain yogurt with berries and a sprinkle of flaxseed. Someone else might enjoy scrambled eggs with spinach and whole grain toast. There isn't one perfect breakfast for everyone. The goal is choosing nourishing foods that provide lasting energy instead of a quick sugar rush. For people living with diabetes or pre-diabetes, breakfast choices can be especially important. Following the eating plan recommended by your healthcare team can help support healthy blood sugar levels. If you're unsure which foods are best for your situation, a registered dietitian or your doctor can provide personalized guidance. Think about how you feel after eating a donut and sweet coffee compared with a breakfast that includes protein, fiber, and whole foods. The difference often becomes clear within a couple of hours. One may leave you searching for another snack. The other may help you stay focused and energized through the morning. Scientists continue studying the connection between nutrition and brain health. While no single food can prevent memory problems, diets rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, and lean proteins have consistently been associated with better overall health, including support for healthy brain aging. It's also worth remembering that breakfast doesn't need to be large or complicated. Some people lose motivation because they think healthy eating requires elaborate recipes. In reality, even a few simple ingredients can create a nourishing start to the day. Consistency matters much more than perfection. As you build these habits, don't worry if you miss a day here and there. Healthy aging isn't about being flawless. It's about making good choices more often than not. Small improvements, repeated over time, can become powerful routines. So far, we've talked about hydration, gentle movement, natural morning light, and giving your brain steady fuel through a balanced breakfast. Each habit supports the others, creating a stronger foundation than any one habit alone. But the next two habits may be the most surprising of all. One involves something you use every single day without thinking about it. The other has been linked to keeping your mind active well into later life, yet many people skip it completely because they believe they're simply too old to benefit. Don't miss part 3, because these final habits may change the way you think about your morning routine. And we'll also bring everything together with a simple action plan you can start tomorrow morning, no matter your age. Now we've reached the final 2 habits. And while they may not receive as much attention as exercise or healthy eating, they can play an important role in supporting the way your brain functions each day. Best of all, they don't require expensive equipment or complicated routines. Morning habit number 5. Give your brain a gentle mental workout. Your brain is remarkably adaptable. Even later in life, it continues to form and strengthen connections between nerve cells as you learn, practice, and experience new things. Scientists call this ability neuroplasticity, which simply means the brain's capacity to adapt and change. While researchers are still learning exactly how different activities affect long-term brain health, there's strong evidence that keeping the mind active is associated with healthier cognitive aging. Just as your muscles benefit from regular use, your brain also benefits from being challenged in meaningful ways. The key is choosing activities that require you to think, remember, or solve problems. That could mean reading a few pages of a book, completing a crossword or Sudoku puzzle, learning a few words in a new language, practicing a musical instrument, or even trying a new recipe that requires you to follow several steps. The activity doesn't have to be difficult. It simply needs to encourage your brain to do something beyond its usual routine. Take Helen, for example. At 76, she believed learning anything new was behind her. Most mornings began with television, followed by the same daily routine. One day, her granddaughter showed her how to use a language learning app. Helen decided to spend just 10 minutes each morning practicing simple phrases. At first, it felt challenging, but after several weeks, she looked forward to the daily exercise. More importantly, she felt a renewed sense of confidence and curiosity. Everyone's experience will be different. Learning a new skill won't prevent dementia on its own, but staying mentally engaged can be one valuable piece of an overall brain-healthy lifestyle. Another important point is to choose activities you genuinely enjoy. If puzzles frustrate you, don't force yourself. Perhaps you'd rather read history, tend a garden, write in a journal, knit, paint, or play cards with friends. Enjoyment makes consistency much easier. And that leads naturally to our final habit, one that many people underestimate because it seems almost too ordinary to matter. Morning habit number 6. Connect with someone and begin the day with purpose. Humans are social by nature. Our brains are built for connection. As people grow older, however, opportunities for regular social interactions sometimes become less frequent. Retirement, losing loved ones, health problems, or living alone can all make it easier to become isolated. Research has found that social isolation and loneliness are associated with poorer physical and mental health. That doesn't mean being alone causes memory disorders, but staying socially connected is considered an important part of healthy aging. Connection doesn't have to involve large gatherings or long conversations. A brief phone call to a family member, a morning chat with a neighbor, meeting a friend for a walk, attending a community group, or volunteering for a cause you care about can all provide meaningful interaction. Just as important as connection is having a sense of purpose. Purpose gives your brain a reason to stay engaged. It can be as simple as caring for a garden, looking after a pet, helping a grandchild with homework, preparing a healthy meal, or setting one small goal for the day. Imagine waking up each morning knowing there's something worthwhile waiting for you. That feeling can influence your outlook, your motivation, and even your willingness to maintain other healthy habits. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. Often, it's found in the small routines that bring meaning to everyday life. Now, let's put everything together. The first habit was to rehydrate after waking, giving your body and brain the fluids they need after a night's sleep. The second was to move your body with gentle activity, helping support circulation, strength, and overall health. The third was to spend time in natural morning light, which helps regulate your body's internal clock and supports healthy sleep patterns. The fourth was to choose a balanced breakfast with protein and fiber to provide steady energy throughout the morning. The fifth was to keep your mind active by learning, reading, solving problems, or practicing a meaningful skill. And the sixth was to nurture social connection and begin each day with a sense of purpose. None of these habits is a miracle cure. None can guarantee protection from dementia or other brain disorders. But together, they reflect lifestyle practices that health professionals commonly recommend as part of healthy aging. When combined with regular medical care, managing conditions such as high blood pressure and diabetes, getting enough sleep, avoiding tobacco, limiting alcohol when appropriate, and staying physically active, they may help support brain health and overall well-being. It's also important to remember that sudden confusion, rapidly worsening memory, difficulty speaking, weakness on one side of the body, or major changes in thinking should never be ignored. These symptoms require prompt medical evaluation because they may signal a serious medical problem. Growing older doesn't mean giving up on your health. Every morning offers another opportunity to make choices that support your body and your mind. You don't have to change everything at once. Start with one habit. Practice it until it becomes part of your routine, then add another. Over time, those small daily actions can become meaningful lifelong habits. If you found this video helpful, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 morning habits are you already practicing, and which one would you like to start tomorrow? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're comfortable, tell us your age and where you're watching from. It's always inspiring to see our healthy aging community connecting from around the world and encouraging one another with practical tips and personal experiences. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Take good care of yourself, stay curious, stay active, and we'll see you in the next video.